Pressure bending things, spokes, mud pavement, tri-circle beneath. Pressure in the wind line. Drop. Open the frame against the cloud line. Expand metal ribs along light hinges. Shield the sidewalk from vertical drops. Angle the handle toward crosswind flow. Brain sliding along coated fabric. Drip tracing narrow edges. Pressure building along the canopy curve. Fabric under rainfall. Wind tightening across the eye. Drop pressing against stretched cloth. Pressure in brewing line. Handle firm within steady grip. Falling rain, press can't be storm-like. Curve shield, fabric under rainfall. Weight press it along metal ribs. Wet pavement, dry circle beneath. Pressure in the wind line. Heavy drops, curved surface. Heavy drops, curved surface, open sky, guard space. Rays striking tension, fabric, wind bending thin spokes. Fabric under rainfall. Pressure in the wind line. Pressure in the wind line. Fold the ribs along the hinge line. Slide the shaft through a narrow grip. Tighten the catch against storm force. Angle the canopy in shifting wind. Shield the frame from tide spray. Span the arc in measured motion. Rain compressing fabric layers. Pressurizing with these skies. Storm front crossing skyline grids. Cloud mass layered above high towers. Rain descending through city lines. Fabric of the rainfall. Pressure in the wind line. Falling rain, stretched canopy, wind surge, tighten ridge. Drop striking coated cloth. Handle steady against gusts. Wet pavement, guarded circle. Pressure in the wind line. Stormy force, chill below. Heavy drops, curved surface. Rain pressing into top fabric. Wind bending narrow spokes. Fabric under rainbow. Pressure in the wind line. Spinning, carousel, spinning, carousel, spinning, carousel, spinning, carousel, carousel, spinning, carousel, carousel. Platform rising in rotation, lights in rotation, poles sliding through vertical arcs, axis holding center, gears locking under motion, circular rhythm building speed, spinning carousel, carousel, spinning carousel, carousel. Platform lifting off the ground, lights in rotation, handles turning in fast cycles, axis holding center, circular steps aligning in sync. Rotate the platform under fixed beams, spin around the central shaft, gears engaging in later clicks, labor shifting at timed intervals, polarizing with mechanical arms lifting in arcs, axis holding center through a spin. Lights in rotation. Rotate again along fixed pole, spin again, steady axis. Lights flashing through mirror glass, gear shift tighten main speed, platform aligning for the ride. Spinning carousel, 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 platform lifting through brighter rings, lights in rotation, poles gliding through airlines, axis holding center, circular motion building higher. Spinning carousel, carousel, spinning carousel, outer rail racing past the edge, lights in rotation, gears striking perfect rhythm, axis holding center, platform turning without pause. Lights in rotation, lights in rotation, axis holding center.
A coconut, a fibrous shell resting on the cutting board, knife edge angled against the husk, grain pushing back at the steel, and brown threads scatter across the counter, palm weight pressing into the curve, a shallow crack traveling outward, splinters collecting near the bowl, pressure along the seam, thumb tracing the fracture line, liquid sealed behind the split, grain against the blade. A measured turn of the wrist, white surface resisting the spoon, fragments sliding toward the rim. Coconut, 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 hard shell breaking under pressure, shaved layers falling into the steel bowl, rough surface giving way to smooth grain, wide interior meeting the edge of the blade, fibers bending then separating clean, countertop dusted with brittle flakes, texture shifting from coarse to satin, circle open by steady force, hard shell under the palm, measured cuts along the ridge, steel tapping against resistant husk, splinters spreading in uneven arcs, moist flesh pressed with a spoon, liquid spill across the cutting board, shavings gathering in a shallow plate, surface turning from rigid to tender, a damp board beneath the half, spoon edge scraping the inner curve, fine shreds sliding toward the basin, knife spine tapping against the counter, white flakes clinging to the fingertips, wood grain marked by scattered fibers, a shallow bowl catching the spill, palm turning the cracked dome, thin layers folding into the plate, pressure applied along the rim, shavings gathering at the center, steel resting beside the husk, moist fragments pressed flat, surface yielding under steady force, a measured pause before the split widens, rough surface shaved in steady strokes, steel moving through compacted grain, loose fibers falling in narrow strips, wide interior turning into thin ribbons, counter dusted with brittle residue, palm guiding the arc of the blade, texture shifting from rigid to pliant, fragments settling into a shallow dish, board carrying scattered flakes, spoon tracing the inner wall, moist surface pressed into thin curls, shell halves resting apart, granular shreds collecting near the edge, fine threads sliding across the plate, rough ridges reduced to soft layers, grain thinning unrepeated cuts, a cargo crate lined with split husks, hands lifting halves from a woven sack, market table stacked with fibrous domes, crate shifting under coastal heat, white surface under pressure, steel passing from hand to hand, shavings falling into a rough tray, shell fragments scattering across the dock, hard curvature meeting sharp and steel, palm weight driving the motion forward, loose flakes covering the cutting board, white flesh separating into clean strips, surface turning from coarse to satin grain, measured strokes shaping uniform slices,
Floor indicator flickers in sequence. Cabin pressure builds against the door seal. Steel cable under load. Compressed air along the shaft wall. Yeah, door seal along the track buttons aligned beneath the glass panel. Cabin compressors with added weight. Guide rails vibrate through the frame. A pulling gauge is above the ceiling. Hey, counterweight shifts behind concrete walls. Steel joints absorb vertical strain. Numbers descend along the display strip. Oh, pressure increases inside the cabin. Airtight against mirrored steel. Cable tension steadies the climb. Floor indicator flickers. A sealed chamber suspended in motion. At midpoint ascent. At midpoint ascent, doors resisting corridor air. Steel cable under load, compressed space between each floor. Indicator light pulsing in narrow intervals. At upper transfer, cabin pressure redistributing evenly. Track rollers grinding along the guide shaft walls, enclosing vertical motion. Control panel blinking in sequence. Steel cable under load. Engage the brake plate, align the hinge track. Seal the cabin frame, release the counterweight latch. Shift the load up, or compress the air column. Guide the carriage straight descend through number grids. Tower core stretching to the skyline. Shaft carved through reinforced stone. Cable extending beyond visible floors. Pressure balance between mass and void. Floor indicator flickers. At final stop. Hit up, 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 hit up. Released in stages, steel cable under load. Vertical motion resolved at ground level. At ground return. It up, 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 it up. Pour indicator into rest space. Yeah, citrus and thinner. Blast resting on sunlit counter. Ice against the glass. Slice the peel in narrow curves. Squeeze pulp through steady grip. Sugar dissolving slow and clear water. Stir to mix in circular motion. Balance sharp edge with measured pour. Eyes against the glass. Juice spread it through thin walls. Cool dilution crossing bright citrus. Liquid turning pale gold. Sugar dissolving slow. Stirring under clear light. Sharp right meeting. Soften mix in the afternoon heat. Lemonade ice against the glass. Sharp citrus flooding the rim. Sugar dissolving slow. Cool mix settling into balance. Bright slice floating on the surface. Liquid cutting through warm air in the late sun glow. Sharp citrus across the tongue. Ice against the glass. Sugar dissolving slow. Dilution softening the edge. Clear liquid reflecting skylight. Pour the blend into tall glass walls. Mix citrus and water in equal lines. Stir fill scattered sugar grains. Chill the surface with fresh juice. Serve across some lit straight tables. Ice against the glass. Balance sweetness with rind bar. Sugar dissolving so beneath. Stirring motion. Cool liquid circling pulp strength.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Pressing surfaces together, micro hooks engaging, loop threads accepting contact. Tension forming along the seam, anchored edges resisting separation. Fibers locking under direct pressure, a closure formed by opposing textures. Fastening the strap across the panel, hook grid meeting woven loops. Surface tension increasing with force, mechanical grip spreading outward, edges sealed through interlocked thread, resistance building beneath the palm. Edge line, hook field against loop mesh, secure the fastener at measured intervals. Peel back the corner, test the grip, stretch the band across reinforced cloth. Anchor the end against a rigid plate, separate the layers with steady pull. Hooks release in staggered bursts, attach the patch to the padded surface. Compress the fibers along the seam, secure the harness around the frame. Peel slowly to preserve alignment, stretch the woven side under tension. Anchor the closure with direct pressure. Separate hook from loop in sequence. Threads bring back after release. Yeah, pressing against resistant mesh. Hook lattice locking into place. Loop fabric absorbing force. Tension across the seam. Edges meeting with sharp contact. Surface grip spreading through the panel. Fibers meshing in tight formation. Fastening along reinforced straps, mechanical contact under load. Hook points embedded in woven grid, loop field holding structural weight. Pressure distributing across the band, closure stabilizing under strain. Austral harness lining a cargo wall, panel secured with layered strips. Yeah. Crates bound along a transport deck, Velcro, micro hooks and engaging at scale. Tension across the seam, press firmly along the edge, align surfaces before contact. Secure each strip in measured rows. Peel only when separation is required. Anchor the closure with balance forms. Oh! Pressing surfaces together, hook grid locking into woven loops. Tension stabilizing across the seam. Mechanical grip holding under load. Fibers meshing with repeated contact. Fastening strap against rigid plate. Hook and loop exchanging resistance. Pressure applied along the full length thread, separating in controlled burst. Surface tension maintained through contact. Closure complete through opposing textures. Exposed, loop mesh resting flat, separated strips aligned on the table. Yeah. Suddenly ignite, firework, firework, firework. Fools running thin, spark cutting through night air. Charge building along the line, crackle climbing into open sky. Echo across the harbor, quickly detonate. Firework, 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 firework. Trajectory bending in bright arcs, combustion breaking silent space. Fuse running thin, sparks scattering into fragments. Echo across the harbor, launch from the narrow pad, charge packed in layered tubes. Fuse curling along the outer shell, arc rising above the skyline grid. Spark tracing across dark water, detonation mapping sound in waves. Silent sky split by sharp crackle. Ignite the charge and measure time. Scatter fragments through high altitude. Flare blooming in circular spread. Spark rain along vertical lines. Combustion flashing in rapid bursts. Echo travel across steel docks. Silent harbor cut by sound. Fuse running thin, spark tightening before release. Charge compressing inside casing. Arc bending toward full expansion. Echo across the harbor. above the skyline. Charge exploding in fractured sound. Sparks scattering in wide radius, echo across the harbor. Silent sky shattered by bursts. Great flare, firework, firework, firework. Combustion cutting through night. Spark raining along the dark line. Arc bending across dark water. Fuse running thin. Echo across the harbor. Echo across the harbor. Launch pads align along the pier. Charge stacked beneath metal frames. Trajectory mapped in glowing arcs. Spark flashing in tide formation. Echo across the harbor. Suddenly ignite. Firework, 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 firework. Combustion rising in rapid cycles. Sweeping across the skyline. Sparks scattering through layering. Fuse running thin. Echo across the night. Firework, 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 firework. Charge breaking into bright fragments. Like expanding over open water. Spark echoing through steel towers. Fuse running thin. Silent sky replaced by burst. Draft a measured line across blank paper. Surface under narrow desk light. Map the corner angles in careful increments against the empty field. Trace structural outlines through later graphite pressure marks. Project elevation marks beyond the lower margin frame. Align each column base along grid beneath the surface. Measure distance between parallel strokes. With steady control outline the beam span across wide untouched space. Grid beneath the surface forming silent order in the margins. Lines locking in place across the drawn field. Empty space shrinking between drafted columns. Measured ratios guiding vertical projection. Paper resisting graphite pressure. Architectural design in motion. Lines locking in place across the plan. Grid beneath the surface shaping every span. Drafted walls rising from the margin edge. Empty field filled with measured form. Parallel strokes defining open rooms. Structural mapping under desk light. Measured columns anchored to the baseline. Grid beneath the surface guiding elevation. Outline beams stretching across white ground. Empty space turning into layered form. Architectural structure line. Blueprint. Lines locking in place along the central axis. Drafted rooms mapped in perfect ratios. Grid beneath the surface holding tension. Parallel beams crossing empty space. Measure each contour along the drawn frame in precise increments. Align projected shadows with the map foundation line. Layer horizontal strokes beneath rising vertical guides. Trace elevation marks through blank margin fields. Construct the outline of future structure on paper fiber. Grid beneath the surface extending outward. Paper carrying the weight of map span. Lines locking in place across expanding margins. Measured angles forming rigid corners. Empty space narrowing between drawn beams. Projected outlines rising toward upper frame. Graphite pressure defining structure. Architectural design in motion. Blueprint. Grid beneath the surface stabilizing every wall. Parallel strokes guiding tower elevation. Lines locking in place through layered drafts. Empty field transformed into structural form. Structural mapping underline. Blueprint. Measured beams surface reinforcing alignment. Outline walls rising through blank paper space. Lines locking in place without shift. Downwind elevations stretching across skyline grids. Projected outlines mapping future blocks. Grid beneath the surface expanding beyond desk scale. Lines locking in place in macro height. Architectural structure aligned. Blueprint parallel beams crossing structured space. Grid beneath the surface fixed in design. Drafted walls standing within map limits. Empty margin filled with defined form. Lock in place across silent paper. Dip beneath the surface, holding shape. Lock in place.
Heated microwave. 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 Microwave.
Press the panel, spin the plate, seal the door tight. Warm the surface first, cold center under heat. Steam against the glass, rotating under light. Spin, spin, heat, heat, heat. Press the timer in short bursts. Rotate the tray in steady circles. Seal the door along the hinge. Heat wave crossing layered grains. Pulse energy through the chamber grid. Steam rising from the rim. Then pressure through narrow gaps. Warm edges before the sensor shifts. Steam against the glass. Spin light across the plate. Cold core beneath. Surface heat. Timer blinking in red digits. Heat it. Microwave. 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 Rotate under bright light. Seal heat inside the walls. Warm layers through steady pulse. Cold center pushing downward. Steam against the glass. Heated microwave. 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 Spin the tray in tight cycles. Press the panel with firm touch. Warm the plate in rising waves. Cold center breaking into steam. Rotating under light. Kitchen grid under midnight glow. Apartment windows lit in rows. Heat crossing thin glass lines. Steam against the glass. Rotating it under light. Heated microwave. 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 Rotate under bright light. Feeling the same urge. Cold core fading under heat. Steam against the glass. Microwave. Press the panel, seal the door, spin the plate in rapid light. Warm the surface, break the center. Cold core dissolving into steam. Heat work rising in bursts. Heat waves rising in bursts. Steam against the glass, rotating under light. Bright sky, shaded view, white beam, muted tone. Glare reduced to shadow, light cut through tinted glass. Sharp noon, softened edges, reflection sliding across the lens. Open daylight, filter glow, direct sun, narrow beam, tint across the lens. Surface glare bending low, hard shine, calm contour. Shadow stretching across the face. Tilt the frame along the bridge line. Filter beams through coated glass. Shield vision from vertical rays. Reflection gliding across the sidewalk. Hinge rotating in tight angles. Dim light settling across skin. Trace the skyline through tinted view. Light shifting behind dark lenses. Glare reduced to shadow. Reflection circling the eye line. Beam softened by layer tint. Edges turning from sharp to smooth. Bright sky shaded view. darkened frame, sharp horizon, filtered tone, lens catching vertical rays, shadow falling along the cheek, reflection bending across glass, glare reduced to shadow. Slide the frame across temple lines, filter light through polarized glass, shield sight from high noon beams, lens coating reflecting street signs. Dim glow tracing pavement edges, hinge aligned with precise angle, skyline mirrored in curved surface, beam narrowing behind tinted shade, reflection steady along the lens, glare reduced to shadow, edges softened by coated glass, light diffusing layered tones. Under city light, stone floor stretching wide, mineral lines running quiet. Polished slab catching white light, car pillars cutting through space, shadow sliding across the hall, cold line under skin, steps crossing chill stone ground, palm heat fading on contact, veins beneath the surface, temperature shifting hand to stone, warm breath across the pale facade, fingertips tracing sharp relief, polish resisting rising heat, stone surface taking in the touch, eyes on the marble, 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 yeah. Cold slab under open sky, veins beneath the surface, cool air circling through the plaza, polish light across the floor, warm palms meeting ridges, stone cold line under skin, eyes on the marble, 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 carved arches framing the skyline, skyline, stone grid lining the avenue, mineral grain set in wide lines, cold air brushing past the edge, warm touch fading slow, veins beneath the sill, open plaza glowing pale at night, columns aligned in mirror rows, cool wind crossing polished ground, footsteps echo enticing, cold surface steady beneath us, veins beneath the surface, palm heat dissolving on part-time, temperature stored in silent stone, cold line under skin, hand pressed to column base, light reflecting off smooth planes, polish holding night air inside, eyes on the marble, 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 cold slab under vaulted light, middle veins running through the arch, cool air circling through the hall, polished floor shining sharp and bright, warm palms against rigid grain, under skin, eyes on the marble, 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 stone pillars rising in sin, white planes stretching through the court, cool air flowing along relief lines, polished surface flecked in motion, warm breath fading into chill, veins beneath the surface, cathedral high touching skyline grids, stone plaza spreading into night glow, temperature shifting across lane wall, middle veins threading massive blocks, cold line under skin, eyes on the marble, 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 cold slab beneath structure, polished arch cutting through space, mineral grain fixed in white lines, warm palm meeting rigid stone, cool air rising through the bones beneath the surface, A rectangular card resting against a wooden desk lamp. Glossy image sealed beneath a thin laminate coating. Fibers black and exposed along the lower margin. Ink pressed into narrow printed lines. A postage stamp line near the upper corner. Edges worn by transit across sorting belts. Dust settling into shallow paper grain. Crease forming along the midpoint seam. Measured width across the desk surface. Thickness defined by compressed pulp layers. Ink bleeding through fibers near the address line. Pressure marks beneath the stamp adhesive. Surface tension between gloss and matte. 5 inches across the wooden drawer. 4 corners pressed against the lamp shadow. 2 surfaces divided by laminate and pulp. 1 thin sheet carrying late impressions. Measured weight resting in the palm. Defined edges meeting the envelope flat. Printed ink embedded in fibrous backing. A flat form shaped by repeated handling. 6 postal codes stamped in sequence. 3 routing marks pressed into the margin. 1 adhesive square fixed to the upper right. Parallel lines guiding the written address. Surface gloss reflecting narrow light bands. Backside texture resisting smooth contact. Printed image sealed beneath laminate pressure. Yeah. 2 sorting trays stacked in the corridor. Stamped symbols laid across the corner field. Ink impressions deepening near the seal. Edges worn by transit through conveyor tracks. Flash paper sliding along metal rails. Surface grain catching against machine rollers. Laminate bending under pressure. Shifts. I draw a line with stacked envelopes and paper stock. Thin fibers catching on the wooden edge. Stamp adhesive pressed against porous backing. Ink lines tracing across the matte surface. Sorting labels attached near the lower border. Gloss reflecting narrow window light. Paper grain shifting beneath steady touch. Measured thickness between folded pages. Edges align against the cabinet framing. Bleeding through fibers near the lower seam. Gloss surface sliding across the desk plane. Laminate resisting the pressure of stacked weight. 7 digits marking a delivery route. 4 trays positioned along the depot wall. 2 conveyor belts guiding flat parcels. 1 narrow card traveling through sorting grids. Measured dimensions fitting the postal slot. Defined corners pressing against metal guides. Ink impressions embedded in fibrous pulp. Edges worn by transit across long corridors. 5-inch lined with envelope seams. 3 stamps laid along the margin. 1 printed image sealed in laminate gloss. Parallel ink lines guiding transit marks. Surface texture alternating between smooth and coarse. Pressure distributed along the flat plane. Paper fibers absorbing repeated contact. Sorting depot spanning concrete floors. Mail routes mapped across urban grids. Stacks of cards aligned in rigid crates. Ink bleeding through fibers at scale. Edges worn by transit beyond the desk. Flat sheets carried through mechanical gates. 6 trays line along the loading dock. 4 stamps pressed beneath guiding lines. 2 surfaces defined by laminate and pulp. 1 flat sheet completing its transit path. Measured weight resting against metal slots. Defined edges pressing into narrow frames. Ink impressions embedded within fibrous grain. A thin card stabilized through repeated handling. edges.
Switch on the narrow frame. Blue light over skin, scan lines crossing the glass. Dark room sealed behind curtains. Flash across the pixel grid, static in the corner. Project shadows on the wall, flicker cutting through the night. Light spreads across the ceiling, frames shifting in rapid cuts. Ooh, light motion under thin glass. Blue light over skin, signal pulsing, measured burst. Broadcast the vision. Bright screen against the dark room, pixels burning in clean lines. Blue light over skin, static in the corner. Cut frames moving in fast sequence. Trick scenes and sharp edits. Project light through open space. Flash image across the glass. Dark walls fading behind glow. Scan lines rolling in waves. Signal stacked in compressed bursts. Blue light over skin, static in the corner. Target image across the ceiling. Pixel grain shifting in clusters. Switch channels in quick cuts. Light pulse across and flicker moving the wall. Signal tightening in narrow bands. Blue light over skin. Cutscenes stacked in layers. Frames aligning in rhythm. Static in the corner. Broadcast the vision. Bright screen cutting through the dark pixel grid, burning sharp and white. Blue light over skin. Flash and whizzies in rapid burst. Switch edits in clean motion. Scan lines running in sync. Broadcast the vision. Vision. Glass surface glowing electric dark. Space replaced by signal light. Projected frames expanding outward. Blue light over skin. Static in the corner. Broadcast tower over skyline grids. Signal beams crossing city blocks. Let's light splitting across rooftops. Static in the corner. The light over skin. Static in the corner. Static in the corner. Screen dimming into dark. Altitude and free fall. Wind crossing open space. Fabric folded in silence. Release the strap along the harness line. Velocity building through open sky. Tilt the frame against crosswind flow. Air pressure shifting across the canopy fold. Gravity pulling in steady vectors. Fabric packed tight in measured layers. Expand the cords along the seam. Drag against the wind. Air rushing through narrow gaps. Altitude thinning beneath the boots. Vector shifting in open descent. Harness lines tightening in sequence. If we deploy at open height, it will expand across the frame. Canopy spreading into wide arcs. Velocity bending under drag. Wind carving through fabric seams. Altitude in free fall. Gravity balanced by open claw. If we release before the ground, canopy rises in the full span. Drag against the wind. Vector shifting toward glide. Air pressure stabilizing descent. On a steady underload.
Yeah, deploy at measured altitude. Calculate drag coefficient. Adjust tilt for lateral drift. Stabilize vectors in crosswind shift. Release fabric from sealed compression. Expand canopy in full extension. Guide descent through gravity field. Glide through layered airflow grids.
Drag against the wind. Air flowing across stretched seams. Altitude thinning in motion. Harness
Harness lines align, intention glide, stabilizing through pressure. If we deploy above the skyline, canopy blooms against blue space. Velocity slows through open drag, fabric rising in wide rotation. Air current shaping descent, altitude and free fall. If we tilt against the wind, vectors curve into smooth glide. Drag resistant downward force, air pressure equalizing span. Harness holding balance weight, fabric steady in open sky. Skyline shrinking beneath open height. Air columns lifting along the canopy arc. Altitude mapped across distant grids, drag against the wind, fabric expanding through empty space. If we release before the horizon line, air spreads across extended cloth. Velocity bending through wide drag, canopy glowing against thin sky. Glide, stabilizing in measured descent. Parachute, parachute expanding. Parachute, air expanding. Cross open frame. Heavy gust when altitude softening through glide. Canopy balanced in steady motion. Gravity easing beneath stretched fabric. Altitude and free fall. Air thinning into quiet.
Yeah. Adjust the lens towards skylines. Focus through layered glass lines. Expose the frame to open air. Blank film sealed in thin casing. Yeah. Capture motion across rooftop edges. Image under silver grain. Flash crossing the shutter plane. Light entering through circular glass. White border forming. Film reacting beneath surface coating. Frame locking into position. Shutter clicking in tight rhythm.
Developing.
Developing. Polaroid. Blank space turning into image.
Silver grain, arranging in layers. White border forming.
Light shifting across thin film. Frame revealing hidden outlines. Image under silver grain. Developing in motion. Blank turning into shape. Silver grain spreading outward. Light settling across the print. White border forming. Edges sharpening in time. Yeah. Shake the frame in short arcs. Expose the sheet to passing light. Adjust focus along rooftop lines. Yo, capture silhouettes against night sky. Film reacting under sealed layers. Blank space. White border form. Light bleeding into coated film. Blank fading into visible shapes. Focus tightening across edges. Frame steady in open air. Developing in slow reveal. Blank film becoming sharp outline. Silver grain organizing in grids. White border forming. Line mapping across the sheeted block. Frozen in one frame. Rooftop skyline sealed in print. Silver grain tightening in sequence roll. Into full image. Blank fading beneath structured light.